Hey, what's up? My name is Alex and welcome to TechFlow. More specifically, welcome to my thoughts on Apple's new baby, the iPhone 11 Pro Max. It's taken me a little while to collate my thoughts about this new product, but we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and there isn't really much of that, what we didn't see and what I would have liked to have seen, and then we'll close out talking about why Apple have made some of the choices that they have made. Right off the bat, I want to tell you guys that I have recently been getting bored of the operating system iOS that runs on Apple devices. So much so, this year I was genuinely thinking of making the switch over to Android. All of my work phones are Android-based phones and I really like the OS. And iOS was getting stale. I'll be perfectly honest with you guys also, I put the keynote on, but didn't really pay attention to it. That shows you how much of a loss of interest I've had in what Apple are doing because it's just getting lackluster to me. And then after the keynote had finished and they closed off, I heard small things about the phone, like the fact that it had a better battery, better cameras, and I just thought to myself, as I think the rest of the population did, yada yada yada, Apple are just doing stupid things again to make another phone. But all of these things together make for like an incredible experience, and that's what this video is all about. Now I'll start out with the physical design of the device. When I first saw it, as I think everyone else did, yeah, it definitely deserved every single meme that was made, and I definitely laughed at a few of them and just thought, oh no, I can't be seen with this phone in my pocket. But then you get this thing in your hand and you have a little bit of a feel of it, and then your mind starts to change a little bit and you start to jump over to the, oh, yeah, Apple, you've done it again side of the fence. I really do like the new matte finish on the back of the phone, but one thing to note, it is slightly more slippery than the previous generation's full glass back. Shouldn't be a problem if you wear a case like you should, because I've already dropped this phone with a case on it from about 20 foot and it survived. Apple have been taking durability of their phones really seriously, especially as of recent, creating the advert where everything's smacking against the phone and it comes out fine.
The enclosure is designed to withstand what life can throw at it. Rigorous testing and refining have helped create a durable, dust, and water-resistant iPhone.
These phones, yeah, they're pretty durable. Well, as durable as they can be. I'm led to believe that Apple really don't like to change the design of their phones too much because, again, why change what's not broken? The camera bump is still there on the back of the phone. You've got to embrace it, much like you have the notch on the front. What you shouldn't really have to embrace though is the fact that it rocks on a table. That sucks. The fact that this is a Pro phone, but it rocks on a table, that just doesn't go together in my head whatsoever. Unfortunately, still lightning on the bottom of this phone, no jump to USB-C. If that doesn't disappoint you enough, this one really will. That lightning port isn't even a USB 3 port, it's a USB 2 port. This is a Pro phone that's over £1,000 and it has a USB 2 port on it. Are you joking? Personally, I use the cloud to back up all of my stuff, but if you're somebody that transfers large video files over the USB lightning port on your phone, that really sucks. Lucky I'm not one of those people, but I feel for you because that really sucks. Imagine spending that much on a phone and it having a USB 2 port on it. Like, regardless, Apple managed to save themselves on the speaker front. The speakers were already leaps and bounds ahead of most other devices in the previous model, and this is only a step in the right direction. Apple are calling it spatial audio and it has support for Dolby Atmos. The room I'm currently sat in right now has a full Dolby Atmos setup in it, so I know what that sounds like, and this doesn't sound like that, but what it does sound like is two really well separated left and right channels. Like, things aren't flying around your head, but you can definitely tell left from right, and these things are loud, clear. I would go as far to say the best speakers on any smartphone. And that even translates into Apple's other products like the MacBooks and the iPads. Have you guys heard the speakers in them? Like, wow! Definitely the best laptop speakers are MacBook speakers, hands down. Moving around to the front, the screen is exactly the same as the previous model. Same PPI, bezels, notch, it's visually identical. However, small little improvements have made their way into the notch and the screen. Face ID is 30% faster, that's confirmed by me. It is faster when you're looking at it. What Apple haven't improved on though is the angles that it works at. If they could do that, this is the best unlocking mechanism ever. But they just need to improve on those angles a little bit more. They could, they'll just be saving it for the next phone, the next Pro phone. The improvements to the display on the phone are that it can get a little bit brighter, and that's it. Sometimes you notice it, and a lot of the time you don't notice it. It's not really too much of an improvement. The screen is very, very nice though. It's a nice screen. One of the best screens I think I've seen on a smartphone. All of this in a slightly heavier and thicker package, but it's welcome too for two reasons. First one, well, the phone just feels a little bit more substantial in the hand, which I really like. And second, well, there's room for a bigger battery, and who the hell doesn't want a bigger battery? And wow, this bigger battery. So if there's anybody that's gonna run their phone down in a day, it's me. I literally use my phone for everything. I use my phone for that many things. I recently picked up an iPad Pro just to take some of the load off of my phone. My phone does my emails, it does my texts, it does my Wi-Fi stuff, it does my Creative Cloud, it does my Creator Studio, I do social media on it. I run my phone to the ground every single day. With my previous phones, I'd have to charge. With this, I'd probably end every day around 20%, but I hammer my phones. Most of you lot will be fine with this because I'm fine with it, and I hammer these things, like hammer them. Apple made really big claims about the battery in numbers, and I'm not going to talk numbers with you guys. The fact is that this is an A-class battery. It is very, very good. Will not disappoint. One thing, unfortunately, they did get rid of in this phone is the Force Touch. I did use it quite often for moving the cursor around the keyboard. You can no longer do that. Well, you can. You have to hold the space bar. It's a little bit weird and a little bit awkward, and I do kind of miss it, but it is what it is, and I would take a bigger battery over Force Touch any day of the week. Now, the bit I've been waiting for, cameras. These are amazing. So you've got three cameras on the back, a 52mm zoom, a 22mm standard, and a 13mm ultra wide lens. And I love all three of these things. Apple on the keynote really went into detail about how well they've worked on the stitching together of all three of these lenses. And when they said that on the keynote, I was like, who cares? But like, wow, it's as if you've got a bridge camera in your pocket. For example, check out this video I recorded at the gym. As you can see, we're super wide at the moment, and I'm gonna zoom all the way in, and you can literally see what the words are on that sign. Like, it's absolutely phenomenal. The fact that that is on here, like crazy. The ultra-wide camera at 13mm is absolutely awesome and a barrel of fun to play with. It's really, really good. Slow motion is still absolutely awesome as far as video is concerned, and the actual video of the phone when you're recording it normally is, yeah, just the best on any smartphone. You cannot beat an iPhone for video quality, and I think the majority of people would say that. But I have always loved the ultra wide look, so that is maybe why I love this lens so much. But you can just get so creative with an ultra wide lens, and it's made me fall in love with shooting again, because I've just always got this ultra wide lens in my pocket at all times, and that is so cool. You can get so creative with ultra wide lenses. Now the night mode on this photo is, yeah, pretty phenomenal too. They had a hard game chasing Google, who I think were the king, but I think Apple have just taken the top off. They're, yeah, very good night photos. As you guys can see, here's a picture of my car. There's what I could see, and then here's what Nightshot managed to pull out of nothingness with, I think, a 2-second shutter. Really, really cool. One thing to note though is that the phone chooses for you when it goes into night mode, so you can't actually just force it to go in, which again, it's a pro phone, but you can't have access to pro features to just do it yourself. Strange. Now, a couple of things that I would have really liked to see in this phone that we didn't see were things like a higher refresh rate screen, like 100 Hz or 144 Hz, just so it's buttery smooth. Like, then it would have warranted a wow factor for the screen too, and that pro name that they like to call things. But don't get me wrong, I think this phone does everything well, and I think that's what the majority of people want. So all I can really do is commend Apple. I think if you look at phones on a scale, you've got like the Pixel has a camera, you've got the ROG phone that's got a good battery, and all of these different phones are all good in different areas, and what Apple have said is, right, we want to make one device that's pretty good at everything. They've got a good camera, they've got a good screen, they've got nice speakers, they've got a good battery life, it's wrapped in a nice skin that's water resistant and looks nice, and the UI is simple and la-di-da to use, and anybody can pick up one of these and within half an hour make sense of it. And that is undisputably why Apple does so well, and why I will not be switching to Android yet. I'm going to keep this for now. So with that being said, that's what I think of this phone so far. It's only been like 5 days though, so I might revisit this in a couple of months' time. The battery life may decrease, the cameras may get worse, I have no idea, so we'll see. But for now, I absolutely love this thing. I'll see you in the next one.